All right, what's going on, everybody? Here, TCW superstar Troy Alexander here with, I guess, another podcast. Yeah, my bad on that one. It's been, I think, besides tonight, like I skipped a pay-per-view, which was the Raw one, and I apologize for that. But tonight we are like doing the No Mercy pay-per-view of all the results, my opinion on it, I guess, and how I would rate it, which will be at the end. So, yeah, stay tuned for that though. But before I start this podcast, go ahead, give this video a thumbs up, and make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the content that we will be putting out in the near future. So be watching. But right now, we're going to go ahead and look at the card, starting with the pre-show. Kurt Hawkins had a major announcement, and his entrance actually was funny, I guess, because it was basically him narrating himself coming down to the ring. And then he kind of stood outside of the ring on the apron for I think 10 seconds. And then finally was like, okay, I'll shut up now. And then I'll get in the ring. And then he got in the ring, did all this stuff. But basically all he was saying is he's going to have a match Tuesday on SmackDown. So that should be interesting to see who he gets to face. Hopefully it's not a freaking local competitor like they've been doing with Braun. But we're talking SmackDown right now, so yeah. And then on to the pre-kickoff show, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. With the only match that was on it, which was American Alpha and the Hype Bros versus the Ascension and the Vaudevillains. Surprisingly, Chad Gable came back, and he's now healthy, I guess, because he was there. So, yeah. Pretty cool, because, American Alpha is, the greatest tag team in the world. No, I'm kidding. If Kurt Angle would come back to WWE and lead them, then that'd be awesome. But the Ascension also had kind of a new look. Like, they had war paint. So, it was I believe Connor had on... I get them two mixed up. But one of them had white and black on half their face, and the other kind of had a army type camo. But it was all white and black. So I guess they're going white and black now. But yeah, since that happened, basically it was an okay match. I'd rate it a 4 out of 10 because I don't know, there was kind of some miscues, but that's all right. It happens in the world of professional wrestling, so live with it. But anyway, using their finisher, American Alphas, I don't know what it's called, but yeah, they win with the Hype Bros. So it was, like I said, it was a good match to kick off the right before the pay-per-view. So yeah, and surprisingly, to open up the show, for the main event type of the whole thing. Started off actually with the World Heavyweight Championship match between AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, and John Cena. Could John Cena connect and become 16-time world champion? But during this, before I get to that, there was some great involvement with all the competitors. Ambrose kind of got left out at the very beginning though. He hit a couple things, rolled out, stayed out for about 5 minutes, then finally came back in. Then we got to a point where they basically recreated WrestleMania 22 with Ray, Orton, and Angle, where it was a triple German suplex, and they actually pulled it off pretty great. Even though they're all heavyweights, so they couldn't fly like Ray did. But either way, it was actually not that bad. And then towards the end of the match, Ambrose, I believe, he put AJ Styles in the calf crusher, and then right before he tapped, Cena came along and put him in the STF, and then they had that double tap out thing back at Night of Champions in 2011 or 12 or something with CM Punk, Triple H, and John Cena. So it was one of those things, but they actually let the match continue this time. And then after AJ rolled out of the ring and Cena and Ambrose kind of argued with each other and the ref. AJ came in and hit them both with a chair and then pinned Cena to, I guess, keep the title. So, congratulations to AJ Styles for keeping his title. So out of that match, I would probably rate it about an 8 out of 10. Because one, Ambrose didn't win, so that's gonna give it an extra. So we'll make it 9 out of 10. Cause my opinion, don't like Ambrose, but hey, it happens. But anyway, yeah, 8 out of 10 without putting in Ambrose there, so it was pretty good overall. On to match number 2, which would be Nikki Bella versus Carmella. Honestly, this was just for Nikki to come in there and be like, "Oh, you beat me these past couple weeks, and now I'm gonna beat you." So that's basically all it was. And Nikki used her rack attack, cutter, whatever you want to call it, finisher thingy. I got the 1, 2, 3, and 1. So that, it was kind of a quick match. Didn't really pay attention to it, so give it about a 3 out of 10. Match number 3, which was Heath Slater and Rhino which they were the champions, versus the Usos, the new and improved Usos supposedly. Could the Usos win the tag titles under their new gimmick? During the match, Rhino and Slater had a few moments of fire, but it was kind of the Usos that controlled it, you could say. They ended up doing that ankle stomp thingy and tried to make Slater tap to the Tequila Sunrise again like they did. I believe it was last week on SmackDown or the week before that. Rhino actually came in and broke that up that time. And then a little bit later tagged himself in. Well, Slater tagged him in, and then he got hit the Gore 1, 2, 3. The champs retained. And hey, who knows? Maybe Slater's gonna get a deck around that pool he just got. So, but out of that, I would probably rate it 6 out of 10. On to match number 4, which actually, surprisingly, I've heard was supposed to be on the kickoff show, pre-show, whatever. So, but this is actually on the main card, and actually kind of towards the end of the show, but it was put in the middle to, I guess, keep it alive. It was Baron Corbin versus Jack Swagger. Last week on SmackDown, Corbin looked like he was trying to go for the ropes, but the ref thought he was tapping, and yeah, that's basically how that match ended last week. And they almost did it again, but, they kept going back at it, and then finally Swagger got Corbin in the ankle lock. But Corbin actually got to the ropes and pulled the apron. And then when the ref went to go get it and, put it back down, Corbin poked Swagger in the eye and then hit it end of days, and your winner was Baron Corbin. Out of that, it would have to be 11 out of 10 because Baron Corbin won. So, no, really, though, it'd probably be a 5 out of 10 because it was kind of there, I guess, so they could be like, "Ooh, yeah, this happened last week, so let's put this in here so you can wait for the next match and you can go get something to drink and come back and enjoy the next match," which happened to be the career versus title match, which I'll get to that in a second. But they actually did pretty good in the Baron Corbin versus Jack Swagger match. It was just, I don't know, them trying to make it look like they're going to pull it off again, but then Baron Corbin using his heel moves to, I guess, poke Swagger in the eye. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, on to match number 5, which was Miz versus Ziggler, the career versus title match. So basically, there was speculation going around that Ziggler was going to leave to go pursue his comedy club and actually pursue politics like, I guess, Rhino and, Jesse the Body Ventura has been doing. But, then, Maurice, sorry to some people, but, she's been using the eye spray for a couple weeks. That's been making the Miz win, so, last week Ziggler put his, career on the line for one more shot at the title. So everyone was wondering, would Ziggler lose and have to retire, or would he win it and stop Miz's continuous Intercontinental Championship reign? So about halfway through the match or whatever, Maurice has already hit the eye spray and Dolph Ziggler done kicked out. And then Maurice was calling for backup. And what do you know? The Spirit Squad comes out and tries to get up on the apron. The ref tries to knock him down. Dolph Ziggler hits them both off. He super kicked the shorter guy, and then I believe before he can knock off Kenny jumped off. And then the ref ended up throwing all 3 of the managers, I guess, out of the arena, you could say, and they had to go backstage. After the Miz saw that happen, turned around, super kick. Dolph Ziggler won 1, 2, 3. And Ziggler becomes your new IC champion and does not have to retire, sadly. But anyway, out of that match, I would rate it a 9 out of 10 because it kept you on your feet wondering when would the end be. And then when they finally hit it off, it actually wasn't that bad, and I wasn't surprised. So it kept me on the edge of my seat, I'll admit that. But yeah, that's why I'm rating it 9 out of 10. On to match number 6, which is the, I guess, co-main event for the Divas. Supposed to be Alexa Bliss versus Becky Lynch, but Becky is reportedly hurt, tweeting a picture from her from a hospital saying she's going to try to recover fast and get back and defend that title like she's supposed to. So, best wishes go out to Becky and everything else. But, she got out there and started giving a promo and then told someone to come out. I didn't really pay attention at first because I got hungry. But anyway, Naomi ended up coming out. I guess I really thought Alexa was going to win this, and it was just going to be like, ooh, you're giving me her, I'm going to beat her up, and then, where's Becky? And then I actually thought Becky was going to come out, but, Naomi ended up winning, sadly, so that pretty much happened. So it was kind of quick, so I'd rate it a 4 out of 10. But yeah, so on to the main event, which surprisingly was Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton. Coming into this match, Bray Wyatt, like people pointed out, hasn't really won a match in forever, especially with outside help or hurting someone before, the match started, like Backlash with Randy Orton where he attacked his leg even though Randy was actually hurt. But anyway, so yeah, it just kept going back and forth with each other. It was more of an outside battle, resetting the count. I think Wyatt even tried to use the steps at one point. That didn't go so well. But, Orton and Wyatt both using the announce tables to, hit each other with and throw it over and all that. And then, they both, I don't know, they kind of one of them looked tired at the end. I don't really remember which one it is, but hey, it happens. But anyway, while the ending was going forth, they kept reversing, Sister Abigail, RKO, Sister Abigail's RKO, all that stuff. And then finally the lights go out doing that thingy, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, well actually it's more like, but yeah, that happened, and when the lights came back on, click, Luke Harper was standing right behind, well, he was standing in front of Randy Orton, and I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I was like, what? I was like, oh my god. I've been waiting on him to return forever, It's like, I like him. I don't know about anybody else, but, he's actually cool. And, but yeah, he didn't actually get involved. He just kind of stood there, looked at Randy, and then finally, Bray Wyatt got a win after hitting the Sister Abigail. And finally getting a win. And yeah, it might have been with a little bit of outside distraction, but hey, Wyatt got a win. And I would rate that match 11 out of 10 because Wyatt got the win finally. But honestly, I would rate it at 11 out of 10 because they put on a great show going back and forth, being like, ooh, who's going to win? 1, 2, oh, false finish. They had I think 8 false finishes, which is not, pertainly what Macho Man and Ricky Steamboat had at WrestleMania, I think 3. But anyway, yeah, it was a good pay-per-view overall. So now on to my thoughts of the whole pay-per-view. Really surprised they put the World Heavyweight Championship match first. But, it kind of, if people were there to watch that, they probably left after, even though they probably didn't. But I mean, hey, if you're there to watch it and you leave after, I wouldn't blame you because that was also honestly a good match. But coming from the pre-show all the way to the main event, it was good overall, especially with Kurt Hawkins and Baron Corbin, Swagger, and Miz and Ziggler, which honestly they stole the night, and Luke Harper, of course. But the whole pay-per-view, I would give an 8 out of 10, judging by me looking at how good they called spots and everything and how many mess-ups there were. There really wasn't that many tonight. And I'm really surprised by that. But hey, they're getting better again, trying new things as they go. So, yeah. That'll do it for this podcast, guys. Thank you for listening. And don't forget to hit that like button and press that subscribe button so you don't miss any podcast, matches, or events throughout the TCW universe. I want to thank you guys again. My name is Troy Alexander, TCW Superstar, and I'll see you guys on the next one.